Good morning, folks. It's Phoebe with Shrubsteppe Blooms, and today is going to just be a quick little review of the daffodils we have blooming and what's to come, and a little bit of kicking tumbleweeds out. It's been windy every single night, which will factor into this review process, because look at them. They look fantastic. So they're holding up to the wind really, really well. The first variety is Ice King. We've got a whole bunch of variation in this group, but this I'm gonna have to get out of my own light real quick here if I can figure that out. This is the kind of perfect example. It's what it looks like when they sell it to you. I've also got some that are not as frilly and doubly, and then I've got this weird thing going on, which hopefully it's just a year thing and not that bulb, where they're splitting as they open. So hopefully that's just a year and conditions thing. But if anybody knows what that's about, I've been Googling and all I can find is people telling you how to divide your daffodil tubers or bulbs, which I already know how to do plenty fine. But these are quite beautiful. They're on their way out, but they were the very first of my fancier tulips to bloom. The very, very first ones were those yellows up there, but they're kind of always coming on super early. But yeah, these are just lovely. So they typically start out with more of a yellow center cup and then fade out to this pale creamy white color. If we keep going down this row, this was a crate of 400 bulbs. The other one I got a crate of 400 bulbs of was Replete. And so these are kind of at peak right now. They are another double type, and they have these really beautiful salmon colored centers with frilly salmon and white petals in there. And these both smell quite nice. It's not overpowering, but it's a nice scent. So that's so lovely. And I just can't get over that this is my life. Like, look at all this. This is red Devon. It started to bloom right about the same time, maybe slightly after Replete started to bloom, but then they kind of all bloomed at once. And they're more of a basic looking one, but I wanted something that was yellow and orange to mix in and give like a pop of color, and that is serving its purpose just fine. And they're quite beautiful. They're just not as, frilly and double and ruffly as the others. This magnificent beast is British Gamble, and I only got 75 of them. They were a little bit more spendy than some of the other bulbs, but they're so worth it. They've got this light creamy apricot-y colored trumpet, and it's very frilly, and then the white perianth, so the white petals around the edge, petal and structure around the edge, and that trumpet is big. Like, my thumb is 3 or 4 inches long, and that's the width of the trumpet. So they're just kind of comically wonderfully large, and I love them. And they also kind of bloomed all at once. We do still have a few more coming on, and they bloomed just after Replete. So these are all kind of blooming at the same time, which works pretty well for getting mixed bouquets, but is less great for having a long season. This isn't a daffodil, but the forsythia, however you say it in your part of the world, is still in full bloom, and under it I planted bleeding hearts. So there's a variety of Dicentrus spectabilis that's more lemony colored, and then we've got the more standard kind of just straight species of it up there under the Bridal Spirea. These are very cute. They're very fragrant, and they are not what I ordered. This section of this row is supposed to be yellow cheerfulness, but it is not. Yellow cheerfulness is like a fully yellow, doubly frilly looking miniature flower, and these are clearly not that. These are cute. I do like them. They are incredibly fragrant though, so if anybody has any suggestions, ideas, what they might be that bloom around the same time as Replete does, I guess is my benchmark, I'm all ears, because I would like to have an accurate label for these. These little cuties just started blooming in their Bridal Crown. They're a bit shorter than I was hoping for, but otherwise everything else as advertised as far as I can tell. I'm really happy with them. Otherwise, if I kind of push down into the soil here, I can get a bit of a longer stem. So I'm hoping next year they'll bloom a little bit taller, but they're super adorable. Speaking of, The last thing we've got going on is this row down here that's got just mostly mixes in it. So there's a mix of 400 doubles, 400 of the split cup butterfly types, and then there's some not daffodils down further. There's some Dutch iris and stuff that's not blooming yet. So in here we definitely also have Ice King. There's some repeats of what I bought individually. There's definitely Replete, but there's also this beautiful pure gold double, which if anybody has an idea of what it might be, I'm also all ears. The mix, as far as I remember, didn't come with a label of what was in it. There's also this other really cool one. I think it was supposed to have 5 varieties in it, and there's this like peachy whorl of petals, and they are different than the Replete. The Replete has more variation of like orangey sunset colors, and the cup is split differently or like doubled up differently. So those are really cute. They're also a bit shorter than the Replete, but still a pretty good stem length. But these are just, oh my word, so fantastic. We're just gonna scoot along here down to the split cup kinds. The first to bloom in here of this mix, and they're coming up a little more sparsely. They just don't seem as robust as the doubles. This was the first one to bloom, and my guess is it's Casada. Like, that seems about right, but if anybody knows better, I'm all ears. And then the only other thing that is opened so far in this mix are these tiny cute things. So these are really short. They're kind of more of a mini, but they're really adorable. And then there's something else coming along, because there's more larger yellow, like pure yellow buds. But let's see if we can get, yeah, there's another one of those mini ones. I thought I saw one open down here. Yeah, more tumbleweeds, always more tumbleweeds. Yeah, so this one's got more orange in the center, which is really cute. So I'm liking the butterfly mix. I'm not like in love with it. I kind of wish I had bought twice as much of the double mix, but that's okay. And it's just gonna get better each year as I add more to it. The spots where there's nothing up yet, it looks like that's a patch of geranium, which is a white mini with a yellow trumpet or center, whatever. And then further down beyond the red Devon are Dick Wilden, which is a fully yellow double. So those are still to come. And then I've got some of these other bulbs like the Dutch iris and the leucojum and camas, and some alliums down here in this kind of sparse looking patch. And some of them came up really well, some of them didn't. Some of them I think it's too early to tell, so we'll see how that all goes. But right now I'm just in daffodil heaven. Like, look at that. That's just so, oh. It's also very grassy out here right now, but there are other priorities going on here. But I think that's going to be our end spot. I do have plans to add more daffodils this fall, so we'll see what I end up ordering. I made a huge list and I need to pare it down significantly because I don't have that kind of money, and I need to temper my expectations about what I'm going to add. But I am just so happy with this. It's bringing a lot of light to my life, and I hope you enjoyed something, learned a little bit, saw some beautiful flowers, and have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm gonna add some other quick footage and videos, photos, whatever, of beautiful flowers here at the end, so if you want some more eye candy, stick here. If you don't, get other stuff to do. See you later. I'm gonna see a friend later, so I figured I'd pick up a nice big bouquet of flowers, because it's nice to get flowers. And I put exactly one stem of that really fragrant one in because they are so pungent, and we're gonna probably be inside in a shared community space, so I don't want to overpower everybody else that's there with the smell, because I know it's not everybody's thing. But just look how comically wonderful those British Gamble are. Like, so wonderful. Anyway,